Hello, welcome to
Hi.
part 3 of our Fourth Wing recap. Um, let's see, we left you off. They were getting away from Montserrat and all the good things. So,
Yes. I had to think.
um,
It was like, what did we leave off on? They are. Zayden is like, Violet's like, fuck you. He holds her arms
right,
up.
she's
Da-
so mad because he was
Oh,
trying to
man,
just
I
get
would
her
be.
to safety.
Oh, that would make me so mad. It would make me so mad. And then she's like, it goes into the chapter and she's just like, I'm sitting outside to be like, is my sister alive? Because someone's gonna
Yeah.
tell me.
Well, like it just like puts you in that scene. There's so much stress and anxiety like coursing through
Hmm.
her, and she's not slept. She's not anything. She's sitting outside of Markham's office because we
Right.
know she knows how the information works to some degree. She knows
Right.
the scribes get it before they announce it, and she is just
Right.
camping out. She's like, if Montserrat has been overthrown, Mira's dead, or any of the things,
Right.
he's gonna find out first and he's gonna tell me what's happening. So she's
Yes.
just there on like pins and needles. And then, Zayden comes up and he's like trying to bring her a peace offering of like, I brought you coffee because Taryn said you've not slept. She's like, it's none of his freaking business.
No
Like she's
business.
so mad. And he's
Yeah.
like, here's the coffee.
Yeah. I,
you
I even
know.
wrote it like I even starred beside it. It's like, quit telling Sigil about my sleep habits. I'm not dignifying that demand with a response. And Darna's my favorite. And then she's like,
Yes.
closes the wall. Terrence snorts.
I love Taryn's banter with everybody in existence so much.
He's got a problem with everybody, and he does not mind telling you just to buzz off. Like, he's
But
like,
he's
I
like
can't stand it.
everybody's favorite dad. Like, you have your
Yes.
friends whose dads are hilarious because they just like say crap to everybody, but
Hmm.
they're funny, so everybody loves them. That's Taryn.
Yep,
Like he's
absolutely.
just like
Absolutely. He's the grumpy person that you wouldn't think that would be everyone's friend, but totally is
yes.
everyone's friend.
Um, yes, he's also the dad that like is like ugh anytime it's like his daughter's having a sleepover, but he also sets out all the fun things and makes sure there's snacks and like the
Yes.
TV's working or all the fun things they're gonna do is ready to go, and then he
Yep.
disappears.
And
Like
he's like,
that's Taryn.
see you
He's
later.
like,
I'll be there tomorrow.
but I do love the exchange that happens after the peace offering of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of going back and forth, and they're talking, and she's like, it's just hard for me, to go from thinking you're going to kill me to that you actually care and stuff. And she's like, when
Right.
did it change? And we get this nice thing from Zayden. He's like, it doesn't matter as long as it changed. He's like, was
Right.
it when I saw, Orn with a knife to your throat? Was it when I watched you at threshing? Was it like when I first saw you on paper? Like he goes through it, and then he talks in her head. And he's like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter as long as it changed. She's like, don't talk to my head and da 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 da. And he's like, why? Because you
Why
can't say
not?
it back or was
Yeah.
what I said.
Yeah.
And they're having this like bicker, and then like of course Atos shows up,
Yeah.
because
Of course.
we like to hate on Atos, but he does know Violet. He knows where she's gonna be
That's where
because she's gotta
bestie.
know where's Mira. Like, is Mira
Yeah.
okay? And
Yeah.
so he's stupidly like, well, Violet, do you need anything? And Zane's like, no, dummy, and da 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 da
No,
in her head, and
dummy.
she finally figures out how to say it back to him.
Yeah.
So we get that
She's
fun
like, knock it
exchange that
off.
she's right. She's figured out the pathways now, and everything. But and also it's kind of sad because when Markham does come around the corner, he's not going to tell her. I'm
Yeah.
like, excuse me. You're not gonna hold information on a family member of mine. Like you're gonna give
No.
me answers. Like,
Absolutely. Like,
um,
hello, who do I have to call? Hello, who do I have to call? I'm
right,
not
and she
leaving
brings up a
until.
valid point. She's like, it doesn't matter if it was confidential or whatever. We were there.
Yeah.
She's like,
I
and then she's
deserve
like,
to hear
I
this, not
deserve
in front
it.
of everyone.
Yeah, I know. And so he's just like, no writers were lost. Like he's still being a big dick about it.
Yeah.
But and she just like all that anxiety and stress, just like a weight is off her shoulders. But
Hmm.
unfortunately, she turns to Dane. So Dane's holding her, and it's like
And you're just
Zayden's
like,
like
he's
awkwardly
right
standing there with
there.
2 cups of
He's right
coffee.
there.
I know. So I just picture him like standing there holding his cups of coffee, like, well, bye, and just like leaves. Like he's just gone. Like there's nothing else for him. With his little angsty, jealous self that Atos is here in the way,
He's just like, and Zayden's gone.
But I
And
do
she's
love
like,
how the next thing, where she goes for comfort, like
yes.
she takes off, and I love it. She's
Yep.
like, I don't care about da 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 da. She runs to the flight field
Yep.
for Andarna. It made me
Yeah.
so happy. I was like,
She's like, aw, nice little baby, little gold baby dragon. And she's like, yay, everyone's alive. And she's like, and then I like how she says she repeats it until she believes it, because like we've said a million times, there's so much death. There's so, like, death is like breakfast at this place. You know it's coming every morning. It's almost, I don't want to say that someone dies every day because we don't have that information, but somebody dies so often that it's just commonplace. And when you're in the middle of war, that's what
they read
is.
a death roll every morning, whether people are on it or not, I guess. But it's like, it's such it almost numbs you to the fact that death is happening all the time.
Right.
So definitely Jade's a lot of them. But I just love how she was holding in so much. And she's just letting it out. And, like, I love it. It's like you feel like Scales. Like, Andarna's, like, trying to comfort her as, like, a little dragon would and everything. But I love that we got that snippet. Because, like, who else would she run to? She can't run to anybody because they're going to see it as a weakness.
Yep, absolutely.
And
I think that's one of the reasons Andarna chose Violet, is because she knows that, like, she like Andarna, is not like anyone else at Baskaya.
Right.
Like, and I think they have that similar bond, and that's why this is just another example of, like, why Andarna chooses Violet and why it's important for her to choose someone that's different. And then they have a bond that is not like, and every dragon rider has a bond that's different from every other dragon rider, but when you're different and you're different, that is a whole nother situation. And I love that.
yeah, and I like it too because, like, we don't get too many conversations about writers and their dragon bonds because it's very secretive. Like, we get a few, like, excerpts where Liam's like, oh, Day holds a grudge, like certain things like that. Especially when we're coming into, like, war games and stuff like that. The dragons are, like, pumped and they're going, but it's just that we don't get a lot of it in Fourth Wing. We get a few little more tidbits in the following books, but we just don't get much of it at all. And there's a lot, I'm like, oh, I just need, like, a chapter of an interaction between this specific writer and their dragon. Like, I just want
a chapter of dragons.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like, give me, like, a short novella of, like, how the dragons decide. I don't think we ever find out how they actually decide their writers until the series is over, because I think it would give too much away.
I do too.
But it makes you wonder how they decide that's the one, especially with the marked ones and things we find out later. It just makes you wonder, like, how do they pick? Because they know everything. Like, Tyrion says, he's like, I know who and what you are, and this is why I picked you. And Darna essentially says the same thing. She goes, I chose you for a reason. And it's like, how do they know that much? Other than they're just like busybody gossips? Like, is that
pretty
like
much
how all the dragons
pretty much? It's the girls' room every day in the Vale. They're like, listen to what we found out, the drama that happened, because they're talking mad shit. They are.
Were, because in Darna, like, later we hear them talking about, like, people were talking about Violet, the general's daughter, who's, like, super weak at everything. It's like, oh, so the dragons are just talking shit with each other at the Vale.
Yeah, absolutely. They're like,
just like, what?
I wonder if, like, they have, like, morning, like, debrief time. Like, they have their own little battle brief every morning.
They gotta have some type of download, like, kind of time in between, like, flight missions and things like that, because there's a huge network of dragons, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like, they gotta have something.
Absolutely.
But it's just, so as we get that exchange, and then it's like, Violet can't get out of her head where Mira threw in her face, like, you barely know him. So then we start getting snippets of her asking him random questions throughout the day through their little, like, mind-to-mind connection. I love that so much. It's like the most random things. And it, like, throws him off. He's like, what? Why do you want to know that?
Right. And it's like when you first start dating someone, everyone plays the 20 questions game. Everyone plays the, I'll ask a question and then you ask a question, and then I'll ask a question and you ask a question. Because that's the way, like, I just love that part of it, because you get that little snippet into them building the base of their relationship. And I just, oh, it's just so good. Like, how do you know Liam? What's your favorite color? And he's like, leave me alone. And then later
Well, I
he's like,
like it because,
orange. And then he's like,
yeah.
chocolate cake. And it's like,
I just like it too because, like, first she asked the question about Liam, trying to see if he would lie about it because she already kind of knew how he knew Liam.
Right.
And then I like it. She's like, favorite, food. He's like, chocolate cake. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so funny.
I like that. And I think it takes him so off guard because, it's another element because no one gives a shit about the marked ones. They're the enemy. No one wants to know anything about them. No one wants to get involved with them. And now he's like the big bad wolf of the marked ones. No one gives a shit about Zane Ryerson except for Violet and the marked ones. And he's like, stop. Like, it's
but
making
it's
him
almost
uncomfortable.
like, is he awkward because no one's really asked any of those questions before to him? Like, he has a very sad story.
He does.
Not just because he lost his dad and everything, and, like, they've all been not living with their parents for the last 6 or so years and everything, but it's like his upbringing and everything we find out later, and it's just like no one's probably asking me those questions because, like, Bodhi and Garrett know him, Liam knows him. The marked ones, like, they all kind of know each other, it seems like, for the most part, but it, like, no one's asking him those questions. So it's just like those basic social interactions. It's like, doesn't know what to do.
He has no clue. He has no clue.
Yeah.
It's just like, am I distracting you? Violet's like, am I distracting you? And he's like, a little. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I do love that, though, because she'd asked him a very personal question about the scars on his back, and he, like, flew off. Was like, no.
He's
and that's
like,
when, Taryn's like, it's hard enough that he has feelings for you. She's like, I don't understand. He's like, it's the same to him. And Taryn's like trying to defend him, which is odd. I thought that was odd because Taryn clearly hates everybody but Sigil and Violet and Andarna.
Pretty much.
Those are like the only 3 people he's like,
and he just barely tolerates them. Like, barely.
But he's always
no,
just like, no, go away. So I thought it was interesting in that moment that he kind of defended Xaden a little bit.
Right.
And then we quickly get into, it's like, we're in mid-May, which is like war games are starting.
Yes,
because you
they
heard,
are.
they're getting you ready for war games. We did the squad battles, war games, because, like, graduation's around the corner. Excuse me. And so it's very exciting. And that's where you get that line where she's, like, asking him, like, are we on offense? Are we on defense? Because there's a lot of, everyone's kind of, like, hyped up. Like, what are we doing? And
yes.
She's like, oh, am I distracting you?
Am I distracting
you? A little bit.
A little.
Then she's like, oh, am I flirting? Like, girl, we knew what you're doing. You knew what you were doing.
You know what you're doing. She's like, But sometimes Violet's so black and white, I literally don't think she gets it. Like,
I don't know.
And then,
like, she's got some game, because if we know her dating history a little bit, like,
she does have some game. Violet,
she's got some game.
Violet,
she just plays the innocent, like, fragile person.
Girl, she does. She likes to play the victim sometimes, but then she gets pissed when people treat her like the victim.
Yeah. I'm also very curious who the other person was. She never mentions who it actually is. Like, we find out one of them in Onyx Storm, but I'm just like, I wonder who the next other one was. Like, 'cause she's very specific.
She is, and we'll find out. We'll find out. Maybe. Really, Violet's, like, freaky. It's 2-on-1. So...
She does point out she's freakishly flexible, so.
Right, and I'm like, girl, keep some secrets. So it's like, so the first battle of Wargame happens. Violet is still not having a signet, like, she still hasn't manifested a signet. And at this point, like, she's channeling some.
Right. But everyone's getting worried because you're at that time frame where everyone says if you haven't manifested one by war games, essentially you end up imploding yourself. So everyone's kind of on
Yeah.
alert, but trying not to be on alert. And so, but
Then we
it's
go
just
into like.
go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say like the first war game is essentially like death, capture the flag.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna write that down. Capture the flag, hide and seek, don't die.
Basically, yes. Like, but it's a very good strategy though, because they have to work together. Because you're have a flag to capture, you also have an egg you're protecting. You know, so it's like a very intense capture the flag. I don't know if you've ever played like a large scale game of capture the flag before, but it's mass chaos.
Crazy.
So-
And like, if your best friend is on the other team, you don't give a shit. At least if
Friend
you're playing
who?
the way we play.
Like,
You're like,
we'll be
yeah,
friends
freaking
later,
egg.
but we're not friends right now.
Right now.
Like, sorry.
But at the same time, we're just like, it's gonna be fine. So you've got, they kind of break it down. It's like, okay, there's two parts. Who's gonna get the flag, and who's going to get the egg? And Zayden's like, I'm going to get the egg. See you guys in a minute. He's just like, I got this. Like, don't even worry about it. But before we get there, this is kind of one of my favorite parts of Fourth Wing is when you see the saddle. Like, everybody heads down to the field, and Taran is like sitting there like chest puffed out. Like, he is proud. Like, he is so proud, because I feel like we know that Violet can't keep her seat. She's too small. Yeah. She's not ever going to keep her seat. And it's just like, that is, your dragon wants to keep you alive. They picked you for a reason. And that's something that's like a constant contingent thing. Like, Violet can't keep her seat. 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 And I think it bothers Taran as much as it bothers Violet, because not that it makes him look weak, but he doesn't want her to die. Like, he chose her for a reason. So he comes out and it's like, hold on, what is it? It's like, it's something like, where's the line? Taran's like, no, it's a collar. And it's like, Violet's like, no, it's not a collar. It's a saddle. And then you find out
that's like when
Taran
I think
built
when
it together.
Yeah, when like Dane comes over, like, is that a saddle? No, it's a collar.
No, it's a collar.
You're just
like, shut the fuck up, Dane.
But I love how Xaden's like, yeah, you got a problem with it? And he's like, no, I want to keep Violet alive also. But Violet is still like, no, you can't have a saddle. And Taran's like, I get to choose what I do.
Yes.
And
people don't tell dragons what to do.
Yeah, I do love that banter when he's like, you had the audacity to clip a chest scale. And it's like, I've never saddled a dragon before.
Right.
He's like, I didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Darna's like, I want to battle. And Violet's like,
and she has a little
please.
harness. I thought that was the best, because she's like, I get to battle too.
Yes.
Like.
And it's just like, it's like, it's okay. But if and Darna can't come to battle for one reason. She's freaking gold. She's like a shiny piece of metal, but she is literally a target. So Violet's like, no, you cannot come this time. And so she's like, just, what does she say?
She has her like go roll in the mud.
Go roll in the mud. And Violet's like, yeah. Then she's like, got it. I can handle that. And Taran's like, the leather is a hazard and all this other stuff. So then they get into war games. Like, it starts to break it down.
And it's like first wing versus fourth wing on this one. So it's not just squads, it's the entire wings against each other. So that's a lot of dragons and riders out on the field. Like, it's a big, excitement and everything. But it's just, war games is intense too. Like,
it is.
And I like how Xaden, despite him not liking Atos, he still gave him like a somewhat important job. One, to get him out of his hair and leave him alone, but also to hopefully teach him something, which was like, oh, okay, I see you being wing leader. Like, you're still doing your job, even though you can't stand this kid.
Oh, man, he really cannot stand Dane. Like, it is just blatant. He gives him a job. Everybody has a job. They all take flight. I start shooting from first wing. Fire comes through, and she's like, oh, God. And he's like, fireproof, duh. She's like, oh, yeah, you are fireproof. And then we see Liam battling Jack freaking Barlow.
Yep.
Mm,
Dirty fighter.
dirty fighting, and like he's like not like nothing Jack does is ever following the rules. Just
Yeah.
never gonna
He's
follow the
always
rules.
like flirting it and pushing it to the max, but I'm like, how come he's gotten away with breaking multiple rules? But I guess because he's not broken the codex, actually, he's gotten away with it. But even on like the mat and challenges, like, don't do this, don't do that, he's still around. Like, still
They're
around,
just,
you know.
I guess because they're like, well, I guess no one can kill him, so you just get to make it through the next week.
Yeah. But
So,
that scene though. All right, go ahead. So,
I was just gonna say something. I'm like, when you're like, Zayden's like, I have the egg, we've got the egg. He's like, I'm 20 minutes out.
yeah.
We've got to help Liam. Like, we've got to help Liam.
But
We've got to help Liam.
that
We've got to
scene's
help Liam.
crazy when it talks about Jack jumps off of his dragon and literally just stabs Liam in the side with a sword. I'm like, this is how we lose Liam?
I know!
What? Like, I was just like, is this how this happens? Because, you know, I know it's a war college, it's war games, people die. Like, I know that reading this book, but I'm like, that mother, like, I was so
that motherfucker,
mad
like,
when I was reading this.
I was like, you piece of shit, Jack Barlow. Like, you know,
And
I
then,
remember
like,
reading
kicks
and be
him
like,
off
woo!
his dragon, too. Like, not only does he stab him, kicks him off of Day.
Yes.
So that's when you're like, oh, what is happening? But I love how, thankfully, Violet and Taryn are in action. And, you know, we still got some time-slowing abilities within Darna.
Yes.
But it's still just in the nick of time.
Yes.
Like,
Yes,
oh
do
my
it. Focus on
goodness.
everything but except you and Taryn. Like, and then it's just
Yeah.
like, boop, got him.
But then it's like they gently pass him off to Rhiannon and Fierge, you know, because they were going to trying to save him. And that's when Violet's freaking out telling Xaden, you know, like, we know where the flag is, but also they're trying to kill Liam and everything. Like, all this craziness has happened. That's when Violet is like, oh, sir, your time has come. Like, I'm done. Like, you are not killing anybody else. I love Revenge Violet so much.
Same,
it's so
girl.
good.
Same.
But
And Taryn's
she
like,
didn't. Go ahead.
Taryn's like, do not take your seatbelt off.
Yes.
And she's like, fuck it all. I'm gonna kill him.
He's like, do not unseat yourself. He's yelling at her. She's like, climb, Taryn. Climb. We've got business to take care of. But it's so good. She doesn't even realize she's like, Signet's not on her brain. She thinks she's about to just like combust. So she's like, I'm taking him with me. Like, we're both going out together because he killed Liam. Or she thinks Liam might be dead. You know, she doesn't know if he lives yet.
Yeah.
And it's just such a good scene. Because like I love it. Like, so I was listening to this and, like, you know, lightning strikes the tower. And it's like rocks falling. Jack falls. You know, like, he's not surviving that fall. And Taryn's like, lightning wielder. He's like, yes. You know, like, all this, you know, like, it's described so well. And then it's like poor Violet, when she lands, she's like freaking out because it like hits her that she's killed somebody. Like,
and I'm just like, it's the same, like, I know I've personally never offed anyone, but I'm sure there's a lot of emotional trauma that goes with that. You were at a war college and he tried to kill your friend, and you hated him for this long.
He is the most deserving to be unalived in this current story. Like,
you didn't sneakily kill your best friend. You didn't sneakily unalive like the leader. You unalived the bad guy. You took out the bad guy. Jack is dead. I killed him. Oh my God. And then it's just like, everyone around her is like, yeah, lightning. And she's like, I used my lightning to take a life. And it's just like, Violet, please.
Yeah, she's having a really hard time. And Dane's once again trying to coddle her and make her feel better. And then he gets called out for it. And like, Xaden's harsh with her. He tells her things she needs to hear but doesn't want to hear.
Yeah.
And, you know, and everyone kind of, and like Dane misunderstands what Xaden says. Calling him like cold-hearted. And he's like, no, killing's a part of it. There's always body bags in war. You know, he's like, it's just part of it. You get used to the killing, essentially.
Yeah.
doesn't make you a monster, but like, you know, and Taryn even tries to shield Violet while she's like puking her guts up. You know,
Yeah.
anxiety, that adrenaline is pumping through them veins, and now she's puking. You know, she's like done. But I like that exchange goes down. You know, Xaden yells at Dane to quit coddling her. He has Violet like it's, you know, like he deserved to die. Like, you saved Liam, all this stuff, and then he's like, Rhiannon, please take her back. Like, get her out of here.
Get like it's gonna be, and then he's like, stop fucking coddling her. She's not a child. She's a grown ass, and he just unloads on
she's
him.
A very capable woman. Quit coddling her.
Yes,
like,
she doesn't want to. Like,
yeah, she doesn't need it. You're just gonna get her killed if you keep doing it. You know.
Yes.
But I like that exchange, and like she's so upset, and emotions are so high. And she's, like, throwing her daggers at her target. And girl's deadly with her daggers. I mean, like, she's just like, like, even throwing them at an open window. She goes, doesn't matter now. You know, she's like...
It's like, Xaden's like, thanks for saving Liam. He's important to me. I'll be back. And it's just, Rhiannon's like, you two have the weirdest relationship.
She's like, can't tell if it's, like... tension because y'all hate each other, or tension because like other things. Like, she just says it. She's like, can't tell with you guys. But
can't tell with you guys.
Yeah. But I love it. Violet's just like fuming in her room. You know, she's like washed up from war game. She's in her night clothes, throwing daggers, trying to just like keep herself occupied, I guess. But I love it when Xaden comes to check on her. We get solid scene work coming up. But part of me would like to think like he went to the healer squadron to check on Liam, and like another marked one was like, and he's like, oh, I need to go check on Violet. And they're like, go shower first. You know, like, you're gross. You smell like dragon butt. Go shower. Yeah, like, is what I like to think probably happened. Like, Imogen or Garrett or Bodhi was like, please go shower before you go check on, you know, Violet. Like,
yeah, you need to wash your ass because you smell like ass. Like,
I just feel like, you know, they were there checking on Liam, and one of them called him out, like, don't go now, go shower first and take care of business. Like,
they have to, like, gross. Just, it's fine. Be like, no, you're not fine. You stink. Yeah. He's like, Xaden's like, oh, the best sound ever is to her hitting those targets. And it's just like, all this time I thought that I would be like Brennan and be a healer, and my signet is killing, and I've used it to kill someone, and it's just like.
But like, and he lets her get all the crazy thoughts out, and then he's very realistic. He's like, you still didn't lose any autonomy or license with it. You still get to choose, but you get to protect. And he makes it hit close to home. He's like, you can protect Rhiannon's family, her nephew. Like, you can protect. If you train your signet, yeah, you're going to kill people with it, but it's the bad guys you're going to kill. It's how many people you save. Like, he really puts it in perspective for her. After he was definitely turned on by her looking at him and still throwing daggers at the target and, like, hitting. Like, I love that exchange where she goes, talks about not sleeping in her armor. She goes, I can roast anybody now. He goes, definitely notice you're not wearing your armor. That he did.
I bet you did notice that. And she's like, he's close enough that I can feel his body heat through my gown. And I'm like, oh, we're getting there. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Like, this is no longer slow burning at this point. I'm like, this is where this happens.
This is where and that it does. For those who need to read it, it's chapter 30.
Absolutely.
Take your time. We're not gonna recap it with you. One, because we want to stay on the internet, and two, because you need to read it for yourself. Enjoy it.
It's a great scene of build up and convincing them, and they have their fuck it moment and take on, and they break some furniture. It's fantastic.
All of her furniture.
Like, they set some trees on fire. Like, it's great.
It's great. So, you know, you've got several solid pages. I encourage you to read it. If you haven't read it, if you don't read any fourth week, you should still read it. You should read it because it is a good one. And then
it's funny though. We get that tender moment where Xaden's like, "You need to get, you know, yourself cleaned up and straight, and I gotta go because, like, you know, he really shouldn't be found coming out of her room. She's a superior. You know, he is her wing leader, but She's like, you have to stay. And he's like, this is a terrible idea. But he doesn't argue any other. He's like, all right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's gone when she wakes up. But leaves her
Yeah.
flowers, which is super, super sweet.
He is. But before he leaves, she finds out about his scars. 107 scars. And he's like, well, I guess I can't tell you hide it anymore. He's like, the scars are a reminder that he has taken on the responsibility for all of the marked ones, all 107 of them. If any of them defect, his life is forfeit. He does not, they are going to take him out. And at this point, they don't say who has done the scars, but we know that, he has to, if any of them betrayed Navarre, he's out. So that's another reason he's so protective of all of the people. And then it turns into, I'm sorry for what happened to you. And he's like, you don't have anything to apologize for. You weren't part of it.
But
and
that's
it's
also
just
why all the marked ones are so deeply loyal and will do anything for Xaden.
Right.
They owe him their lives. They all know it. Yeah.
They very much do. Liam says it more than one time. And, when he says it earlier in the book, you don't really realize, why he's saying it. But he's like, I owe Xaden my life. I owe Xaden my life. I owe Xaden my life. It's because he truly does. It's because he truly does. And then it's at that point, it's just so did you guess I was going to be a lightning wheeler? She's just like, so did you guess I was going to wield lightning? And he's like, I kind of had a good idea when I saw the thunder snow. And he's like, really? You really got that?
But we also get that hint when her emotions are super heightened is when she is when she has a lot of power. She's got a lot of power surging through her. Because he's like, yeah, the first time you kissed me. It's just...
And it's just
throws that nugget out there.
That little pin, put that little pin in there. And then, he stays the night, they cuddle up. And then when the morning comes, Xaden's gone, which she's not surprised about, but he did stay for a little while longer. And then, this is one of my favorite parts of the whole book. Because it's she's exhausted, and all of a sudden she's pop, 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 knock on the door, and she's like, Liam?
Right? You Liam? Cannot have come straight from the healer's quadrant and the infirmary to my door.
Right. And she opens the door and it's Professor Carr. And she's like, we have some work to do.
Yeah, he sees her disheveled room.
Yeah, and he's just like,
you can't even control it while you're asleep. She's like,
yeah, that's it. I can't control it when I'm asleep.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, that's what happened.
But part of me is I know in his head he put together that all the trees that caught on fire were her fault.
He knew it was her. Because, there had to be reports of lightning strikes, around this guy.
And side note, can you imagine being a scribe, transcribing something that's boom, boom, and you're just what the hell is happening?
Are anyone in her squad that knows she wields lightning? I wonder if they put it together.
Where's Xaden? Where's Violet?
Yeah, is Violet celebrating? Because now it's a lightning storm outside.
The Heliante. What?
But I do love, so Carr's taking her away from Basgath to train her signet.
Yes.
And I love how he's like, oh, it's an emotional response each time, right? She's like, yep. And I love my favorite line out of Fourth Wing from Terran is, shall I get the wing leader?
Should I go get the wing leader?
Yes.
Hand on the book. She starts thinking about Xaden and can hit her mark. Boom. She got lightning.
Because Xaden sent her dirty pictures. It's great.
Yeah,
he's like, where are you? And she's like, how do you know I'm far away? He's like, train better. You'll figure it out. And she tells him, he's like, oh, okay, I can help with that. But she gets his, perspective from what they did. And lightning strikes.
Ka-chow. Ka-chow.
But it's just, and it's cool. She's finally manifested her signet, and it's a, powerful signet, too.
Yeah, it is.
Because Carr's even, there hasn't been a lightning wielder in, a century. Or
no,
something
very
like
much
that,
not.
Which is these somewhat rare signets are like cycling back up again, it seems like, in this book too. And like, don't have a list of signets. It'd be nice to have a list of possibilities, but
One day,
there's a reason we don't have them, I'm sure.
one day, one day. But if we find out about it all, then we're not going to find out. But so then they go back to the next chapter, goes to Xaden coming to Violet's room, and they pick up the bedtime storybook. And all of a sudden it's like, what is that? A piece of parchment. God forbid it be a piece of notebook paper. Can't have no notebook paper. We got to have parchment and quills. And it's like, I'm going to take a minute and actually like read what it says, because that's the only way, because I can't summarize what it says. It says, it's a note written by our father, and it says, "My Violet, by the time you find this, you will most likely be in the scribe quadrant." Wrong. Remember that folklore is passed from one generation to the next to teach us about our past. If we lose it, we lose the links to our past. It only takes one desperate generation to change history, even erase it. I know you will make the right choice when the time comes. You have always been the best of both your mother and me. Love, Dad. That is just like a huge nugget of foreshadowing.
Oh, absolutely.
And
it makes me
Rebecca
wonder,
Yarros does this.
Yeah, but like Xaden's like, what does that mean? But I'm like, he has to know something with what he knows.
Yes.
From growing up in Erasia and in Tyrrendor and everything. Like, he had to be like, did her dad know what was up? Like, what side did he fall on? And I'm also like, when did he hide that note? You know, because he's been dead for a little bit. It's like, when did he hide it?
And we also don't know how he died. We don't.
Have theories.
We have theories on how he died. I have theories on who he is, but that's for another day. But it's just like, when it's just, and you get all of these little nuggets and all of this little relationship stuff. So she's like hiding shit in plain sight, and I love it.
Yeah. I also love, too, like, before, when Car and Violet are training, he gives her some very insightful advice on making sure upper leadership knows where her and Xaden's loyalties lie, because they're so powerful, but they're not so powerful that they wouldn't take them off the board if they thought their loyalties were somewhere else. I'm like, that I thought was interesting coming from Professor Carr, who's very, whatever we say by upper leadership goes kind of things, even in later books. He's very much on the side of the Great Divide, you know, essentially. But it's just like, what all did he know?
Right.
You know, at that current moment. Because he was giving her a hint for a reason. I'm like, did he have an inkling of what was happening and that Violet could potentially, you know, make very different choices? I wonder. Like,
I think he realizes that, again, Violet is different than everyone in Basgiath. She's very emotional. She's not your typical writer. And not meaning more like physically and emotionally. And I think he sees how quickly she and Xaden bonded, even being quote unquote enemies. And with Xaden being having a mark of the rebellion, they are doomed from the start. Like, this is their one chance to maybe live. But even if they die, no one really cares. And I think Carr sees that if they're together and connected, and how powerful they can be together, a huge weapon against Basgiath and against the leadership they have now, and King Tari and all that stuff. And
it also makes me wonder if he had a student or like a cadet that was powerful, or a friend, and they chose a different side and he saw them get like executed or something. It makes me wonder.
Like Violet's dad? That's what I think.
I'm pretty sure he was offed. Like, I don't think his heart gave out like it says, like, naturally. No. I think he was poisoned or killed somehow. Like, they assassinated him because he knew something and was about to discover more, and they didn't want it getting out.
Absolutely. I thought
he was killed from, like, opening chapters. I'm like, what? Like, I
your heart gives out.
You know, like, but losing a child.
Book.
Yeah, it's a fantasy book. I'm like, that's ominous. Like, that nugget's thrown out there for a reason. But I think he was assassinated. I really do.
Absolutely.
By
Totally agree.
who, I'm not sure yet. So I have theories and questions, but I
just it is what it is. And then they talk about how in the fables, like, and this is a point that I saw on another TikTok, and if I can find the creator who I saw this from, I certainly give them credit, because this is not something that I noticed when I read it, is like there's a big thing about like Venom taking children. Like Xaden said his dad would be like, they would tell him like the Venom are gonna come get you if you don't get your vegetables, and I'm having a stroke. Maybe a small one, maybe not. Violet says, please, Lord, if it's my time, let me go. Violet said that her dad would be like, they're going to steal you out of your cradles. So I don't know if that's like foreshadowing or just something that.
But even Rihanna mentions that when they're talking at presentation, that the Venom are like the boogeyman tales. Like if you don't do this, they're going to come get you.
Yeah.
I don't think I necessarily put that together either in any of my rereads, but it is interesting how they use it as like, if you don't do this, they're gonna come get you. And I'm like, what truth is there to that? Because would it make sense for them to take children, essentially?
Was Violet taken as a baby by a Venom?
Or were they trying to take Lilith, and that's why, because it says she was really sick when she was pregnant with Violet, and that's why they think Violet has all the struggles that she does, like with her joints and everything, and nothing's ever quite the same how it should be.
Right.
It makes you wonder, like, what encounters happened, because it's very ominous. But, you get those, and they talk about all that with the book, Fables of the Baron.
I gave you my stroke, I'm sorry.
And stuff, but then it's like, it quickly jumps to, it's July 1st, like things go, and it's like, okay, Violet kicks Xaden out of her room because she's like, I'm not going to sleep with you again because I'm going to fall for you, blah, 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 I'm just picturing like how funny it had to have been, Xaden standing outside Violet's door after we know he had to get friends to move in a new armoire for her because they broke like, and like Liam walks out of his room, has to be laughing, like,
like, how'd you break that?
That's what I picture. Like.
And he was probably like,
doing,
damn,
buddy?
I wanted to do that.
Because, like, Liam, Bodhi, and Garrick probably moved it in there at some point.
Right.
But I'm like, I just feel like he's standing out there as the door's closed in his face, like, I'm on the first floor, like, corridor for some reason. Like, Liam walks out. Like, I think it was, like, Riddick or something. Like, what you doing?
What you doing in there? Because we know Riddick is a playboy as well. We love that about it.
I love Riddick so
I can't wait till we get to where we can say our favorite Riddick line. But we'll get there. That's a later podcast. So we know that, it's 10 days from graduation. King Tari is coming. More banter, more I love you, I don't love you, I love you, don't fall for me.
I love how even Professor Devera is like, make sure Riddick goes to get his dress uniforms, and he's like, what else think I would wear? She's like, one never knows with you. What has Devera found Riddick doing? Like, what kind of reputation has he built? And like,
a good one.
In like the 9 months he's been at Besgaiath, like it's not been a full year yet.
Yeah.
Like it's like 9 or 10 months. And I'm like, oh, Riddick, what are you doing? We know it's everybody, but like it's just like, what are you up to?
What are you doing? Like, we need to, and then we need to get ready for graduation. The king is coming. Which, by the way, part of me has such a hard time remembering that there is a king and he rules these lands, because where does he live? No one really knows. He only comes in every once in a while. He's got kids.
It's hard because the focus is on like the military presence so much that you forget like the other cities in the provinces, like in the Navarre, like the country of Navarre, essentially. Yeah. We don't even get the name of the continent they live on until like Onyx Storm.
Right.
It's like, and I was like, oh, that's true.
Oh, well, I guess
We
they
did.
do live on
We
a.
don't know what it's actually called
We
until
really
this.
don't. And then I'm like
But
looking at my map, being like, so where does the king live?
it's in Caldir is where he's
Oh
at, which
yeah,
is not
maybe.
really in the middle. Like Besgaiath is more in the middle of Navarre
Mhm.
than Caldir's like on closer to a body of water,
He's
which
on.
is
He's on
odd.
his. He's on the beach.
Oh yeah,
He's
he's
like,
chilling
I'm
on the
living on
beach
my
for
beach
sure.
palace. Someone else do my hard work. So we know that when the king comes, everybody has a party. All the
Right.
kings love a
And
party.
they're very adamant. They even say it like all cadets are supposed to be in their dress uniforms at this certain moment for the party that we're doing for
Mhm.
Reunification Day, which is where they squashed the rebellion. And you know that's why all the marked ones. That's when they lost all their parents. And Brennan died and everything. Like it's not a great day for a lot of
It's
people that they're
very much not.
remembering. um,
No.
but it's where we get that nice scene where like they're getting ready for it, you know, and like Violet, you know, one of her squad mates helped her fix her hair. They're dressed up. She comes out
Yeah.
and Liam comes out. She's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm going with you." And he's a Mark twin, you know. And she's
Mhm.
like, "You shouldn't have to go." And he's like, "I'm going with you." He's like, "I
Mhm.
told Xaden I would protect you. I'm going." And Violet is mad at Xaden, thinking he's making him go. You know, and like she's become very aware of how rude people are to Mark twins. Like gets under her
Yes,
skin,
very
you know.
much.
Then we have that funny back and forth where like Liam and Riddick are playing on the hit on some of the healers because like they're tired of only seeing writers and everything. You know, like it's great.
Right.
like,
It's just
um,
she sees Dane. Dane's like, "You look beautiful." They go through all this thing, and
yeah.
Dane actually shows like how to sneak out of the party. He's the
But he
one that
proves how
tells her
much
where
he
the door is.
still knows Violet. Like he
Mhm.
sees the weird interaction between like her mom, King Tari, and General Melgren. And that's when they have that
Mhm.
awkward encounter. He's like, "Where is the boy?" You know, talking about Xaden, and she's like, "I saw him earlier. It wasn't a lie." She's like, "I saw him in Battle Brief."
Yeah.
You know, she's like,
Right.
um, and then when she notices, she doesn't see a single marked cadet in there. Like she only names the ones she knows, but we know there are a lot of marked ones in the
Mhm.
quadrant as a whole. And she's still talking to Liam like, "I can't believe he made you do this." He's like, "He didn't
Yeah.
make me. He would never ask any of us to show up to this thing.
Yeah.
I'm here because I said I would protect you." You know, like we keep getting like Liam is a man of his word
Yep. You're a good
to the
friend, Liam
end.
Mary.
You know, to the end, he's a man of his word. But that's
Yeah.
like Dane shows up and he's like, "Oh, she's not snuck out yet. You can go this way." And I'm like, "Oh, you're trying to redeem yourself, but also you suck."
Yeah.
like,
Also, you still suck. I just
but
part of me
yeah.
like I see a lot of people that like compare Dane to Chaol in Throne of Glass,
I mean,
and I get it at the same time. And Chaol is insufferable. Like I understand. That's a whole nother thing. Dane is the man of his word. Like he tries to be the right in the world of wrongs,
his
and he
trust is
wants
in
to
the
do
wrong
right.
places currently. And
Absolutely.
he doesn't know
Absolutely.
it. He is doing what he knows to be right. She's his friend. He's trying to protect her in the ways he knows how. He doesn't realize all the shit that's about to go down.
Right.
Like, and we don't either just yet. Like, we've not thought about it, you know, all the times and information that's been shared and stuff from like Dane touching her face and cupping her face and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. But,
Oh,
um,
we'll get to all that. And
yeah, like I got those notes that it'll take us a while
oh
to talk
yeah,
through, so we'll
that's why
that'll
we're
be on
gonna
our
have.
next one.
Yep.
but it's
That's why
just,
we
but
have to make 4 parts.
oh, absolutely. But as they're walking out of this, that's basically when she's like, "Liam, I love you, but leave me alone.
Yep.
Like, go away." And he's like, "No." She's like, "I can kill someone like." He goes, "Yeah, you told me your aim is shit." She's like, "Go." You know, like she's trying to
Go.
find Xaden because she's like, "We've had our banter back and forth. We've argued all day. Like, you know."
Mhm.
She finds Garrick and Bodhi, and they're like, "You don't want to be around him." And she's like, "I need to find him." And they're like, "Why do you think we're sitting here?" you know, because like we're trying to support him without being in his face and all this stuff. But then she walks out on the parapet, which I'm like,
In a dress with no damn
girl,
shoes on.
girl has a death wish. Like, and I love how she like is thinking like, oh, Terrence gonna kill me or not be happy, he goes, yeah, I'm pissed.
I'm big pissed.
Like,
I'm big pissed. I even wrote down like in my little notes. I even like Violet walks out like an idiot onto the parapet. I'm like, I get it. Okay, so this is something we have talked about off the podcast. 20-year-old Erica immediately on the parapet, no shoes, in my little cadet dress, whatever. 30-year-old Erica is standing there and being like, "Get off the parapet, you fucking idiot!" Like, I'm not going out there. What? 20-year-old Violet, she makes horrible decisions sometimes, but
we get the nice exchange because he immediately knows she's out there. He's like sitting middle ways down the parapet, sad, like visibly can tell he's sad. Like it's the anniversary of his dad's death, like all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it sucks. Like, here's another reminder of all the things. And she's talking to him, and he's like, why are you out here? She's all this, I could ask you the same thing, and da-da-da-da-da. And he goes, I won't shadows, Violet. I won't fall to my death. She's like, I didn't think about that. She's just like, oh. And he's like,
20-year-old Violet versus 30-year-old Violet. 30-year-old Violet ain't walking out there.
But it's just funny. Like, they have their little back and forth. She gets him to leave the parapet and all this, and she's like, you're taking me to my room. And he's like, I'm a what? He's like, and he's trying to just be like, I want to be left alone. I can't take care of anybody. She's like, I'm not asking you to. And he goes, and I know this is rude because this is also the anniversary of your brother dying, but I don't want to be around people. Like they have that back and forth that she's like leading him up all the stairs, and then I love she throws that nugget.
And he's just like following like a little puppy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to my room.
I love how she's like, oh, the first time I walked up these stairs with Dane, he goes, I don't really want to hear you talk about Dane when we're going to my room. Like, it's just like, it's great.
And his room is so, like, they get there, and his room is, like, so in order. There's a little table. Yeah. He's like, sometimes we talk about squad stuff here,
but
wing
you have that,
stuff
like, vulnerable moment of it's like, that's your private space, and now someone's in it, and he's kind of like, feeling the need to justify, like, yeah, we have meetings in here and stuff, and they have that exchange where she brings up where she accused him of like sleeping with somebody else is why in everything, and she's jealous of Imogen, and he's like, and then she's like, I know there's nobody else because of all these things. He goes, well, good. Why did you accuse me of it? It made me so mad. Right? Why would you do that?
He's like, I wanted you from the second I saw you. Like, why? And that's the beginning of this shit I cannot stand between Violet and Xaden. I cannot stand their miscommunication. It is the bane of my existence. I understand why we have it because it puts in good plot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, just listen to each other. And I get it. They're in a war college, and he can't trust anybody, and she can't trust anybody.
Well, and some of it makes sense, too, as big reveals that are coming, that he's not shared certain things because she's too close to Atos, who can read memories.
I'm like, and she's just like, I don't understand. And it's like, you fucking idiot. Your best friend can read memories.
Like, there's a lot of arguments to be made also that we'll talk about probably later on the other podcast, but that, yes, they could have worked to prepare her for it, but at the same time, she's too close to Dane.
Yes, way too close to Dane.
So going into it, I understand why he never said,
oh, for sure,
the things that are about to come to fruition in this book. Like, we're getting very close to the really good stuff. And I'm like, I wouldn't have told her either. Everyone wants to hate on Xaden for it. I would have kept that to myself, too.
It is like, he's protecting a whole part of the country.
Because
and
it's
protecting
not
all
just
these people.
Like, they would kill them all
if
they figured out what was going on. But, like, they have this exchange and everything, and then they end up, having more spicy time that you can read about if you want to know how that scene. They break
Yes,
some
and
windows, lightning strikes, like
you very
great.
much. And
We
Zayden's like,
get.
I'm a man of my word.
He's like, I do
Boy,
like
how
it.
idiot are you?
And that one of my favorite lines is coming in this when it's talking about like they're still going round for round,
Round for round for
essentially.
round for round. They're like, we're going to burn the
And
college to the ground. We do
it's
not
just,
care.
yeah, it's funny because she even mentions like they just keep going or
And,
whatever, but
and,
I
on,
love
and
it
then it's
when.
like, boom, 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 boom. Someone's
And he's
pounding on the
like
door.
so upset because someone's interrupting, and I just love it because he's like, somebody better be dead. And Garrett's like, they're calling us all to formation, you idiot. Everybody's dead. He's like, and bring Sorengale with you. Like, like, he's so mad. He's like, I wouldn't be knocking on your door just to say, hey, buddy, what's up? It's like 3 a.m., at this
Like,
point.
we know what's up. He's like, I know what's up. I saw where
But they
you
have
went.
that immediate, like, oh crap moment because they're calling the
Yes.
whole quadrant to formation. That's like full scale attack,
Yes.
like country's burning at this point. That's what that means,
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like rushing to put on clothes, and Violet's got to put her dress back on and all this, and he's like, I don't want you to be cold, like it's a funny exchange because neither one of them are
Yes.
thinking we're trying to hide what we're doing, but here, wear my flight jacket.
Yeah. I don't want you to be cold.
There ain't no reason you're hanging out with someone at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning if you weren't doing it. I'm sorry. Like, no
Right.
one's just chilling, talking about life at 2 a.m. Like,
Right. And to be fair, when everybody starts coming on, everybody kind of runs out in the hallway. No one really pays attention that Violet leaves Zane's room, which is a good
right.
thing.
Like, they
Or
kind
they
of
would
like
have been
sneaking out
screwed.
to formation and stuff. And I love how, they're there and Zayden goes off and, like, he talks in her head, effing war games. That's when you're
Yeah.
like, oh no. But I love how Rhiannon
starts.
goes, Violet Sorengale, what you doing there? She goes, it's my jacket. She goes, no, there's 3 stars, a wing leader badge. Like, she's like, I'm going to need those deets. And, and
Yeah.
she's like, I broke a window. And she's like, get it, girl.
Yeah. Was it good?
Like,
And I'm like, that is true best friend talk right there. Be like,
absolutely.
what
And then
you
I love it how Rhiannon, like,
doing?
arm around Violet to cover up, like, all the wrong patches so Dane doesn't notice. Like, I'm like,
Because
yes,
God forbid
homegirl has
Dane
her
notice.
back.
Well,
I mean, he's
he-
about to find out.
He-
So, like, he's going to be
he
hot
really
pissed when
is.
he finds out. But they find out that Colonel Atos has been put in charge of war games. So this is what he thought was fun. Real world situation.
Mhm.
Forces are down. We're having to send you everywhere. So he's like, wing leaders can pick their own squads, which means they can take from their squads and their wings and jumble everybody up. So they can pick who they want to be theirs. They can make a central location, then all the other squad leaders pick somewhere to go, And so since Violet's squad is mostly first years, there's only a few second and third years in it. Dane's like, we're going to go here, so we're not having to fly too terribly far, but we're right where we need to be, for whatever else happens in war games. And, they get dismissed to grab all their stuff, and, Zayden and Taryn even are like, grab every dagger that you have. Like, holster up. Like, if you carry all the steel possible,
Yep.
And they're getting there, and, and Violet's anxious. She's like, what about Taryn and Sigale, because she still thinks 3 days is all they can make it, without each other.
Bless her.
We do understand that's their preference. They don't like to be without one another, and Taryn's like, it'll be as it should be. Like, don't worry,
Yeah.
That's when we realize Zayden's making the changes in the squad. He's taking all marked ones with him, and he's coming over to Violet.
Pissed.
And I love it. He's
Pissed.
coming over to Violet, and Dane's like, da-da-da-da. And she goes, he's just saying goodbye. And he's like, maybe to him, but, like, no, you're coming with us. And Liam, and they have that big exchange. That's when Dane realizes that, like, there's a lot more going on with Zayden and Violet. And he's like, I guess I'll miss you.
Yeah.
And that line hit hard with what's coming.
It did. It
oh my
really did. And
gosh.
like, I have a whole
Yeah.
bunch of things like just marked because of just the conversation between them. It's like Zayden is like, quit while you're ahead. Quit
Yeah.
while you're ahead. And then he
Yeah.
says, do quit while, or no. Yeah, do quit while you're behind. She's safer with
Yeah.
me beyond the wards, and we
Outside the
both
wars.
know it. Like, we
Yeah.
both know it.
I
And Dane just
mean,
kind of doesn't say
oh,
anything.
no, because he can't defend that because he's right. In that current moment, Violet is not safe with Dane anywhere if it means he has to go against the Codex because he's already
Right.
admitted he wouldn't do anything.
Right.
But it's also just like, oh my gosh, like, okay, now it's out. So it's like, but when he says, I'll miss you, that line holds so heavy until we get Iron Flame.
It really does.
Like, with everything that goes down in the rest of this book, like, and there's not that much left. There's like less than 100 pages, but your whole world is flipped.
It really is. In that moment when
like,
Dane's like, I'm going to miss you, Violet mentally goes through, like, she's going to go with Zayden. She is choosing Zayden. This is the path I choose. And she has that moment where she's like, both of the most important men in my life are going in different directions, and I have to choose one path. And that is the tone for the rest of the series that we have so far. That is the moment.
It's a tone for the current that we have too. Like, she has to choose her own path with it, and it's a wild ride. Wild ride. I will say, anyone listening, please comment some of your thoughts when you read this for like the first time or even a reread, because there were certain things on a reread I was like, what? So I was listening to this for the first time at work, and I was working night shifts, so like things had already settled down. So I'm like doing my hourly charting, you know, my precious little patients that are sleeping and stuff. It got to this point, I was like, oh no, crap's going down. Because I was like, how much is left? Like, I'm looking, you know, and Audible will tell you like how much is left of your book.
3 chapters.
Like, I'm gonna need nobody's call light to go off for the next, like, you know, so I can walk around with my AirPods in listening to this.
Yes, like
I listened to it. I was like talking to any of my fellow coworkers. They're like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm listening to a really good book."
I'm good.
Like,
Everybody's good.
Like, I can check on my patients and chart. You know, like, it was intense. Oh my gosh, so good. So this is the best stopping point on this part. Because yeah, please join us again for when we do part 4, which will be the rest of Fourth Wing, and we get to start diving in all the fun other foreshadowing and some theories and things like that we have. It's just such a people want to hate on this book sometimes, and I can understand why, but it's so good, especially if like you're new to the fantasy genre. Because it's an easy to understand magic system.
It is.
So that's why I'm like, I love seeing new people getting into fantasy because of Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
It gets a lot of hate from people who are like, I only read high fantasy and blah, blah, blah. I love it. I'd also read high fantasy. But, like, this is a good time and your brain can rest because you don't have to remember too many things.
Nope, you don't.
There's a lot of questions, but if you're not a theorizer, you just read it and have a good time with the vibes, you know? Like,
enjoy the ride. You don't have to deep dive like we do. But it's fun to do this. It's just...
Yeah, it's fun. But this section we were discussing today has so many good nuggets in it of, like, what's coming.
Really
I missed them all pretty much.
Oh, girl, same. I did not a single thing. Like, I'm a big book tabber. I love to tab books on things that I think are going to be important. After reading it, I caught some things.
Yeah.
A lot of things I just didn't catch and was like, and a lot of things, like we said, are hidden in that relationship squabble between Zayden and Violet.
Absolutely. And we know, like, there's something going on with Zayden and the Marked Ones because they go on too many, like, shady missions.
Yes.
But they get masked because they do send third years on missions and stuff. But it's just, like, odd, you know, and everything. But it's such a good time. Please, as always, comment, like this podcast. Well, it's on Spotify. YouTube. We are on TikTok and Instagram at the Lattes
Yes.
and Lore podcast. Follow us along. We'll share snippets of all of our fun that we're having. And then this will be all for today. Until next time.
Yeah.
See
Until
you guys
next
later.
time, our friends.